Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you a tutorial on how I make my steak Rasta Pasta. All the ingredients will be listed down below. So I have some pink sea salt, black pepper, garlic powder, meat seasoning, some browning, some jerk seasoning, and some green seasoning that I'll be using to season the steak with. Now, salt content, just be mindful because sometimes the jerk season has salt, the meat season would have salt, and the green season have salt. I have here some steak that I had cut up into bits, and I'm going to go ahead and season my meat. Okay. Also, too, I washed my meat prior to me seasoning it, and the reason why I wash my meat is to kill out the freshness of the meat, meaning the taste of the freshness. So what I do is I clean the meat with some vinegar and some lemon and lime, or you can use lemon juice, or you can use lime juice, is whatever you have here. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your meat is marinated properly and that all that spice gets into the meat. Okay. Now, this is totally optional of how you like to season your meat, but one thing I like to do is season my meats with dry seasoning first, and then I will put in the wet seasoning. So in the instance here, I already added in the dry seasonings, then I had marinated it with the wet seasonings, and I'm just using the browning also. I'm giving it a good rub. Again, you season your meat with how you like it and how much tolerance you can take in for salt. After you finish seasoning your meat, you want to cover it and let it marinate for a couple of hours until you begin to cook it. Put in 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I put the meat in to saute. It took about a total of 20 minutes to get it to the soft texture that I liked. You can make your meat hard if you like it, but again, it's up to you. It's to each his own, but you just want to make sure that it's... So now that the meat has cooked completely to the way that I like it, I'm going to set it to the side and I'm going to begin preparing the pasta. So for the pasta, the ingredients that I'm going to be adding is some garlic clove, some scallion. Now here, this is Maggi vegetable bouillon seasoning, 1 cube. This is totally optional, but I'm going to go ahead and use it in my seasoning because it gives a good flavor. I have some red onion, some sprigs of thyme that I'm going to be using, and some chopped up orange and red bell pepper that I'm going to be putting in as well. I'm going to be using some of the jerk sauce in the mix as well as some mild jerk seasoning, just about a teaspoon. Again, the ingredients will be listed. I have 1 block of sharp white cheddar cheese that I grated that I'll be adding on to it, as well as some crushed red pepper, paprika, cayenne, and some sazon. I have about 8 ounces, a cup of pasta that I drained and cooked prior. So here I have put in 2 teaspoons of coconut oil, and I'm going to let it melt, and I'm going to go ahead and start to saute my vegetables. You want to make sure that you give it a good toss to make sure that it's melted evenly, and then I'm going to go ahead and add in my bell peppers. So you're going to let that saute for about 1 to 2 minutes, and then I went ahead and add in my onions. So you want to make sure that you start to prepare this by cooking in your hard vegetables, and then you throw in your soft vegetables afterwards. So you let this continue to cook, and then you go ahead and you add in your next vegetable. So I will be adding in the scallions next, so that, again, you want everything to cook evenly. You want to continue to give it a nice toss because you want to make sure that it catches all the flavors that's being added into the pan. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure you guys had a good view of how I was preparing my food. So you let it continue to cook, and then here I went ahead and add in the bouillon seasoning. Again, it's optional if you want to use it, but I put it in because it gives a good flavor. And also too, I had added in some green seasoning, which you don't see here, but that's also optional as well. I like to put the green seasoning in the vegetables because it gives it a nice flavor as well. So you want to make sure that you continue to toss everything and you keep on stirring until you see that all the flavors is equally and evenly distributed. Okay? So next, I went ahead and add in my spoon of jerk seasoning. So again, I'm tossing everything and stirring up everything to make sure that all the flavors are equally distributed. And then finally, I went ahead and added in some garlic. And I decided to add in the garlic last because if I added it in first, it would have become burnt and bitter. Okay? So you just give everything a toss. So now what I'm going to do is I'm adding in 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, and this is going to be the cream building base for my pasta. So I'm giving it a stir until I see that everything is being combined properly, and I'm bringing it to a boil, and then I'm going to start adding in my cheese. So I added in about half of the cheese mixture so that I don't overcrowd it and the cheese doesn't get rubbery. So you want to just throw in a little bit at a time. And then I went ahead here and I added in some of my cayenne pepper or paprika. I can't remember which one I added in, but I added in one of those two. Sorry. And then I went to add in more cheese. So I'm just going to give it a stir. And at this point, I started to turn off the stove because it was done. I kept on stirring and stirring until the cheese was completely melted. So what you want to do, you want to keep on stirring and stirring. And if you are not satisfied with the way how your sauce is looking, like if you don't think you added enough cream or you added enough cheese, you can go ahead and add in more. Here I went ahead and added in some of that jerk sauce just for it to give it that nice spicy flavor. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in the pasta and give it a good mix to make sure that all the cheese is covering the pasta and that the pasta is flavorful. So then finally, I'm going to go ahead and add in my meat that I had prepared earlier and that I placed to the side. And I'm going to go ahead and give this pasta a final stir. I'm going to take it out of the pot and then I'm going to serve it and eat it. And I will tell you this, after I had that first bite, this food was excellent. So guys, here is my final presentation. Thank you for taking the time out to watch my video. Feel free to subscribe to me. Click on the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, share with a friend, share with a family member, share with a bae, share with whoever you like. Again, it's to each his own. Also, don't forget to check out my other channels. You can follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at Sazon Cooks. That's spelled SASANCOOKS. Again, thank you for watching. I love you guys. Have a great day.